Hi, Kari.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Oh, so wonderful to meet you too.
Hi, Dina. How are you?
Hi, Jose. Good, good. So good to see you, honey.
Good to see you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me get this gallery. All right, that's better.
So Dina, I'm going to be in the other room. If you need anything technical, Billy will call me. And the only thing I would check with Billy is sometimes he has to put his headphones on because you'll hear an echo.
Oh, honey, my show, trust me, people don't come on because they're worried about an echo.
I know. I'm just letting you know if you hear his headphones, he'll call me. Hi, Carey.
Hey.
Hi.
Long
So
time
good
no
to see
see.
you.
Carey since the show. Oh my God.
No. I know.
Oh, has it been that long?
It's been such a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
It has been.
Thank you, Jose. Bye. Oh my God, I love him.
I know, he's always fun.
And so are you. Thanks so much for coming on to Dina 6 TV. It's just a casual variety show. I just aim to just support creatives like yourself, and thank you for coming on. That's, you know.
Thank you
Yeah.
for your support.
Really, thank you.
Yeah. So, Kari, let's get to you first a little bit. So, are you from Miami originally? Where are you
I
from?
am from Miami. I'm from Miami. I'm a native Miamian.
Wow.
Born and raised. I went to school in Chicago at DePaul University, and then came back home to Miami and started teaching high school, and then came back to my passion of theater. I did teach high school drama, but you know, my passion's always been outside of the classroom, so I pursued that.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, so you actually did teach drama. I love it. I love it.
I did for 6 years. I was a high school drama teacher, which is an important role. Yeah, it's an important role, but I decided to let somebody else who really wanted the job to have it because it was driving me really crazy.
Yeah, it's not easy for a creative to do it 9 to 5, even if it is in the field that they love. It takes a certain type of person. Yeah.
True, and you have to be very, you have to have a particular type of assertiveness to deal with classroom behavior.
Oh,
and sometimes my creative mind does not allow me to solve the problems the way that I want to solve them.
Oh, right. Wow. Interesting. I love it. And
Yeah.
Billy, now you're not born and raised in Miami. I know you came in the late 80s, like when Miami was still
Crazy. I mean, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So, and I had a very kind of cushy existence, and I wanted to get away from Atlanta. And I had a friend who was working on Miami Vice as a PA, which I thought sounded really, oh my God, that's great. I got to go down there and see that. And so I was in South Beach when it was in the late 80s, when it was still really like wild. It was like the Wild West. But, you know, to me, it was very romantic. I thought that I had arrived. You know, it was very dysfunctional and crazy. And I loved it. It was a very wild place.
What do you want to talk about next? You want to get right into the current piece, or you want to talk about some previous work?
I mean, I started, you know, I trained in acting. I really loved acting when I was in high school. I was really lucky. I took like a modern theater class or a survey, and you know, went from Ibsen to Pinter. And I remember reading Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. I was like, oh my God, you know, this is about the truth. And I had a desire to really learn about the truth because I was from a very sheltered background. When I got to Miami, well, you know, wow, the truth was, you know, there, just right in front of me. And so you know, I was not a very good actor. I mean, I would go to auditions, you know, and acting is very constricted. It's like, you know, we need an actor or an actress of this age and this role and this type. And it's like, oh God, you know, but I started reading. There was a lot of queer performance going on in the 90s. And I would read books with Tim Miller and Alec Napa. And it was like, you know, I can do this. You know, I have training and acting, and I'd done some writing before. So I just started writing monologues and stuff for myself because I really couldn't deal with the whole I was sucked at auditions. And, you know, it was just a hard thing for me. So I just kind of started doing it because I had to, you know, and I wanted to perform. So I wrote a piece called Miss Vanilla and the Hustler,
Yeah.
which was kind of like, everything's a bit autobiographical. It was an homage
Yeah.
to a boyfriend I had in the early 90s who passed away from AIDS. And, you know, it was very shocking, but, you know, I wrote it and, you know, I did a production of it and people went and they paid for it, you know, not
Yeah.
a lot of money, but, you know, it was amazing. And our friend Renata Ramos was in it, had a psychic in it, you know, and so it
One of my favorite all-time actresses.
I know, I love Renata, even though she didn't mention Miss Vanilla on her segment with you, you know, I love her. So in any case, I just started doing a lot of monologue work and things that I could do for myself. And, you know, that's pretty much what I've been doing, so.
Yeah, fantastic. Carey, when you said, I found out the truth, breathtaking.
And then I heard it. It was clear as the light of day. Pure and simple. The truth. The unvarnished truth. Suffering. In pain. But speaking the truth. Truth rings like a bell. It is real, full, whole, nothing false. The ring of truth.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just a vessel. You know, these words are Bill's words.
Yeah.
And he really tapped into what a lot of people were feeling, have been feeling, do feel. And I just think it was a perfect synergy that my being an artist who intersected with this piece, because my story and my personal resolution, I guess, you know, it's a pandemic. I don't want to do any work that I don't want to believe in. I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize my health or my safety or anything. And then this project so aligned with me from the first conversation that I had being introduced to the project. You know, because I wanted to have an open mind, but it's during a pandemic. You know, I can't work right now. There is no work. The feeling, you know, that Bella has. And then my personal history, my mother was a civil rights activist in the 60s. She actually integrated the World's Fair in 1964 in New York City.
It said she
She
got
walked
arrested,
through
huh?
the gates with yes, she did. And she had to go to the Supreme Court in order to get the ruling overturned that she'd broken the law. She went to jail. Yeah, they had to tell her how to dress in court and everything, you know, so when to sit still, when not to smile, when to smile, you know, I mean, all of that in order to, you know, get her, you know, adjudicated not guilty for the crime of, you know, being there boycotting the Florida delegation at that time. But my mother also registered people to vote throughout Florida, in Live Oak, in Tallahassee, Polk County. I mean, she was very, very influential in my life.
Wow.
And so just this story coming out and being about voting was very important to me.
School's in session. Oh, America. What happened to you and education? No one cares about the truth anymore.
Like a multitude of explosion of rights and pandemic. This year was like just like no other. And I think it just forced the creatives to make creatives just to get out there. And it was like, I must create. I mean, when it went 3, 2, 1, and the bell rang, and you said the word, and it clicks to the people like that. I was like, oh my God, just the 2 seconds of that piece just told the whole story of how we felt at that time in the pandemic. I was like, how is it possible to have a perfect storm?
You know, that cosmic pulse that we're feeling. And he really divined it and said, I'm gonna write this out. And it was just a perfect synergy. The director, Ricky Martinez, I'd worked with him before years ago, and he was able to pull things out, heights and depths of the piece. You know, of course I had a natural affinity for it, but also, you know, you have to build those peaks, especially in a piece that long. You can't just stay on one level. And so he was able to build the archetypal movements of the piece.
Oh, he
so that it
really
would
did.
tell a
He was
story.
amazing.
Well, I mean, Carey was so amazing because, you know, I had this, you know, this project, and I have a group of 4 monologues, and this is one of the 4 monologues. And I called up Ricky and I said, you know, where it came from is I wrote this in 2018 after the Parkland incident. And then everything during the past administration, you know, it kept on getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, and all these events happened. And I remember I saw the Democratic convention and I said, you know, oh my God, you know, I got to do something. I mean, I can vote. I'm not good at going out and canvassing. I'm horrible at trying to debate people, but I have this work here. And, you know, I think we should make a film. And I'm not a filmmaker, you know, so I called up Ricky and I said, you know, I'd love to do this. And do you know of any actresses? And he mentioned Carey, and I knew of Carey. And Carey's incredible, you know. And what happened is we had I think he showed it to her and I was thinking, oh God, I hope she does it. And then, you know, she had the script for like a day or two and we did a Zoom meeting. We did a table read. And, you know, I have very low expectations of a table read because I think their actor is really going to phone it in because, you know, we're on Zoom. It's really a phone. And like Carey was like, oh my God, did I write this? You know, because it's really wild when you write something and then I'm used to doing stuff myself and then another person does it.
Oh,
And she was bringing
absolutely.
dimensions and levels and things, you know, that I didn't imagine. I was like, wow. So, you know, it was a really beautiful experience. And that was a great experience because it was during the pandemic and we had a deadline. I think we started the thing like maybe in early October, and I wanted to get it out before the election, you know, hope that it would inspire people to vote. And so we had like, I think a 2.5 week of rehearsal on Zoom, maybe every other night, and then 2 days of shooting. And that was it, you know, and it's good to do stuff like that. You know, I'm used to things having a long lead time and but it was a very critical thing. And, you know, it had been building up a long, long time, all these emotions. And, you know, of course, I'm channeling a lot of my feelings through Carey's character. You know, there's a lot of that in me. This film is Carey, you know, because it really is Carey. It's the actress, you know, the actor carries the weight of the project on their shoulder. And I've acted before, so I know what it is. And, you know, Carey's just like, okay, this is perfect. You know, it's really a gift. So
what a beautiful performance piece. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was perfect to be able to dive into something that was so important.
I'm going to say something I haven't said aloud before. This is embarrassing, but important. You know, the days have a way of running into each other lately. This whole year has been such, why don't we just call it what it is? A disaster, because honey, it definitely hasn't been great again, or whatever that was. But we do know what that was. Even with actual white supremacists walking up and down the street. But we're not gonna talk about that. Nope. Gonna hold the illusion up on that one. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's what keeps the evil evil.
This piece was artivism. We were agitating people. We wanted to agitate. Don't be apathetic about what's going on. You can make a decision. This is your active participation. And through art, we were able to agitate people and make them do something, you know, make them vote. You know, it's so important to not be apathetic about your political life.
Our producer, Jose Lima, my partner, said, well, we need to really do something real.
Yeah.
And we reached out to Stacey Abrams, and their organizations, like, they were so busy. I think sometimes, oh, we made this play, and I think there was a part of me thinking, like, how is this play going to age? How is this work going to age? And, all this stuff, the fight is not over. All this stuff is still going on horribly. Like, I'm from Georgia.
I was going to say, look at Georgia, yeah.
And everything that's gone on with Georgia in the last 2 weeks, it's like, damn, is it ever going to end? So, it's a constant fight. We always have to be vigilant.
Yeah.
And so I think that this work has legs, it goes into the future. And, if certain political parties, the Republicans had their way, no one else would really be able to vote. I mean, that's just become apparent, and that's shocking. Never in my life have I ever, that's like, do you want to take away democracy and at the same time say you're patriotic and American? What constitution are you reading? What are you talking about?
It's all fear. They're
like
so
amazing.
afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so crazy that people want to hold on to the reins of justice and not let people participate. It's just crazy.
But we have to fight. It is what it is, and it's totally ongoing. So yeah, it's a lot. But I'm very grateful, that we made this, and I still want to do like a stage production of this and the other monologues, because
we want to do it live.
Yeah, we have to do it. And I think, when I originally wrote it, I adapted it to film, because, when you make a film, it's a different thing. And then it's about the editing, it's a different animal. And we're both theater people. I miss being live with an audience that has a pulse and you play it, And so I foresee things like, well, we can do this on stage. And, some of the stuff we took out, which Ricky was really smart to take out, because, oh, this is all extraneous. I mean, originally I saw it as just this, woman on this stage kind of greeting the audience and, kind of carrying on and stuff. So there's all these different things that we can do with it, I think it's been an interesting time. It's interesting making this work, because usually when you do a theater piece, it's really about camaraderie. I love going to rehearsal, because you're very close with this group of people for a period of time. You're usually doing something really intense and meaningful. Yeah. And then it's just like what it is today. Like, I haven't seen Carey since, we kind of did the show. Usually you don't see people. That's, it's a very funny business, very funny art.
Yeah, but the relationships are so intense, because the bonds and the amount of time that we spend immersing ourselves in each other, because we have to, for the time that we're creating the project, kind of really, and we do, because that is part of the artistic process, become one mind. And we share that one mind, and we are all there together, present constantly in that mind. And so all the ideas are ricocheting off of each other, and the piece continues to develop and develop and develop until it is finished. And then, it is part of that artistic process. That mind then is the collective that's created the art that is then sent out into the world. It's the gift of art that we present, and people take from it what they will. And that collective mind, then we each take our individual pieces back.
Everything felt just like it did that November, right after the election. I could feel that ice cold veil come right down over my body like a curtain, a shroud draped over my body. I could feel a horrible, toxic, invisible force seeping into my body, pulsing throughout every vein. Could see and smell it in the air. Ominous pressure, pushing down on all of us, working its way in, eating its way into the cracks of the broken night sky, wrapping its claws around the world, strangling. I couldn't breathe, gasping and gasping for air. I can't breathe.
People underestimate what happens during the artistic process, what the amount of time that we put into it, the amount of energy, the amount of mind space that we put into creating art. But it's really tremendous, and it's a gift to be able to do it, to be able to create art, to be able to be open to receive someone else's words, and to be able to give life to them. Life, but this, because I may have a specific small tiny view of how something should be expressed, but then Bill as the writer, and Jose as the producer, and Ricky as the director, and even Dennise as the cinematographer, see something and say, I think if this is expanded to this instead of to this, it'll speak to more people. And that is a tiny adjustment. You know, it's an adjustment of emotion. It can be an adjustment of energy. It can be an adjustment of volume. It can be an adjustment of eye contact, or an angle, or a body gesture. All these nuances are so important in the creation of art.
It was so amazing. I mean, what you were doing, and then Ricky would bring things into it like I would never foresee. You know, he had the whole idea of doing a split screen where the character is looking at herself on the ground, which was like a big deal. You know, someone who's down on the ground, which I know, you know, metaphorically what that means. It was physical as well. But there were other genius things, you know, like I learned from him is like, he would take a script and like select words. Okay, what's an important word here? And oh my God, my favorite thing I think in the script, which is really what the script is about, is power, which Carey brought this whole amazing thing to. And of course, like Ricky knew how to direct that. And you know, it really is about holding on to power and oppressing other people is like a large theme. And Carey's interpretation, I mean, she is such a fine actress.
Denial. Denial. Dismissal and have some more denial. All of it legal. You know, this is a country of laws. Country of laws. Law and order. Order in law.
We always got stuff to do.
Exactly.
You know? So I'm grateful for that. That's the key to life. You know, do your stuff. What you were the reason for being here. Do it. You know. So
Oh yeah, it's been a long year, and I think hopefully we're on the other side. I hope some new I hope so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, and we'll continue to be cautious, and we'll just
Of course. No, of course.
You know. But it's great. It's great to think about being around people and going to plays and, you know, things that we probably took for granted before the pandemic. So,
Well, that was my whole point, is I hope that people somehow built in a new type of gratitude for the simple things in life. And I really, really hope that from the pandemic that, you know, that there are more important things that are cherished, you know, and there's got to be some good that, you know, that's come out of all this. So I fingers crossed.
I agree. I think that's the meaning of life. And I think it's also really art-wise, it's going to be a renaissance. You know, we're just coming out of the plague.
Oh,
you know, we're coming out of the dark ages. I think that it's going to revitalize people in the arts, you know.
Oh, yes.
Too, you know, it's important. It's so funny, Carey, because there was a time in Miami where I was going to be a substitute teacher. And, you know, my classroom management skills, oh my God, you know, I saw I was like, I can't do this. I mean, I like kids, but not that much. You know, this is not my deal. But it's critical to have the arts and education. I have friends in New York who are painters, you know, who work in the contemporary art world. And they said, you know, I wouldn't have survived high school unless it was for the arts programs. So it's critical that all these things continue to evolve and that younger people are involved in and love it as much as we always will.
More to be continued. I'd love to have you both on in future times for new projects, and let me know how things are going forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I love you, ladies. You're the
Thank
best.
you.
Love you.
Good to
Bye,
see you.
Jose.
Thank you.
Bye, Jose.
He's in the TV room. He knows that he's not let out to the cameras.
Oh, all right.
He'll be directing.
Bye. Bye, honey.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.
We love you. Take care. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Yeah.